What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. You all are really buying out Starlight Road here in 2020, the 500 IQ big brain buyouts, but this is for against Lightning Storm, those $300 playsets that maybe you can't afford, and it's a budget option for the back row decks to deal with it. It cannot be Ash Blossomed like Waking the Dragon is why there's a huge alert towards it, and also unlike the others, you don't have to have an extra monster zone open for this card. You don't have to have pointing arrows because the special summon of Stardust Dragon is completely optional. Another thing to note with this specific variant of the card, the 10 promo, is that similar to, I think it was CP5 or 6, where you have Trap Dushoot and Magical Merchant having foil wear on the bottom coming out of the packs, Starlight Road also has the same problem, so there's a lot less near mint copies. That old collector brain of mine is, once in a while useful, and that's why you see over on TCG Player, the lowest one's towards $7. There's one all the way from Japan on the international market, but an EN towards $5 before it's $6 and then $7 on eBay as well. I think this is a pretty good card. If you have an affinity towards Crayon Rare, aka the Duelist League promos, you should probably get them now because there's attention on this card, and you can use my TCG Player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra for the cards you'd already be buying. But really, if this gets bought out, you're gonna be like, I was waiting for those $2 Crayon Rares that have been on market forever. Calm down over there. There's other holo versions. Of course, Gold Rare isn't budging at all yet. That's for the desperate people who want a holo version. And then you have the 5Ds Ultra Rare, also pretty much completely selling out. There's one reasonably priced copy, reasonable by the way, and then there's just none at all. So somebody listing that wants to make a sale, they're not juicing. I like those kinds of listings. Now, when we look at the competitor, Waking the Dragon, it has two holofoil forms. It's not jumping at all for the OTS pack version, thanks to there being a Mystic Fighter Super. Thank freaking gosh for you that are looking. It does kind of feel like it devalues that OTS pack, though, when they just go ahead and do that. That reprint was so good, let's do it again. Konami really likes to do that. But the targets you can bet are going up, up, up. Last Warrior from Another Planet is probably the best because to activate Lightning Storm, you have to control no cards. So in order to deal with Last Warrior from Another Planet, you better gosh dang have Infinite Impermanence or you're just boned. And we look over on eBay, yes, very, very expensive for the lowest. Remember not to tag EN on eBay. This is from LON when trying to search the card, so that LON versions won't have that necessarily in it, and only the DB versions will have the EN tag within the set name. Naturia Exterio is a pretty good card right now with this. Also, if you want to make a quick buck, maybe sell yours unless you plan to play it. I see this going back down eventually, hype quantities being grabbed off market. The DT actually could go up from here though. I hate to say that too, but it could see multiple waves of buyouts, as Exterio is a very excellent card. Let me know in the comment section down below which card you think is better. Do you like this because, let's say they bricked and they have two Ash Blossoms, it gives the second Ash Blossom like an immediate use and gives it more of a grind state? Or do you like the power offered by Waking the Dragon that can completely shut the opponent down instead of continuing play and saying, okay, I took care of this card, I can take care of one more? You go ahead. Which of these two cards do you like more personally for dealing with Lightning Storm? Or is it worth the side deck space at all to put in all of this just for somebody else's side deck or going second cards? Hey, I really want to hit eventually on the $20 tier of my Patreon, mailing cards to every single one of the 50 states in just 1 month. We are 6 out of 50 there so far. There's 7 of you guys in the $20 tier. I really appreciate it. But also starting at just the $2 tier on Patreon, there's an exclusive feed where I'll talk about subjects far before I put them on channel, just kind of out of my mind, like, yeah, I'm thinking about this card, what do you guys think? And starting an open conversation there. So do check out the Patreon linked down below as well. There's direct stuff back for you guys signing up, and there's mailed rewards starting at the $20 tier. Sauravis is a hand trap that's also a ritual that's quite interesting to me because it's targeting protection, and a lot of people have to use targeting effects in the current format to deal with things, bouncing, banishing, that kind of stuff. It's any card that would target get a monster you control. And that's kind of cool protection, and this never got a reprint out of Invasion of Vengeance, still sitting towards $10. Maybe it's some money you didn't know you had. Speaking of the next Master Rule, by the way, Boost Warrior is still way up there in price. I would have thought this would cool down after I showed it on Market Watch, but people really love this as an extender in the Synchro Loop decks, and they're confident that it's going to last for the Master Rule. Boost Warrior is pretty good. You're not wrong, but I'd still personally be making my sales. I think there's several things that are overhyped in price due to it, and this could be one and could see a reprint somewhere. As we saw with Steam Synchron being in the Rarity Collection in Japan, Konami does have their brain on Yusei's cards, and I could see this being thrown just like to an OTS pack as a common and completely crashing its price at some point. Magnet Reverse, that boy good in ABC. I like this card a lot still, and of course you have Sky Strikers, anything that's an extra deck monster that's a machine basically, that wouldn't be able to be normal summoner set. You special it. So as machines get stronger from the extra decks, and Infinitrax anybody, I think this card really does deserve a second look. I would love to see it reprinted, but for now, it is sitting towards that $10 price point also, and ABCs keep getting support after support. It feels like keeps garnering hype. I like this card's chances to be played in that deck, at least in the side deck again, like Elvis Vu. I don't know why I have this page up. Maybe there was something different. Oh yeah, the featured card is Jacko Bulan. I tend to like to show when TCG Player changes the featured card, and I found it funny that they went for such a niche card out of Ignition Assault. And I believe Ignition Assault's actually one of my next tabs to have a conversation on these Prismatics with you guys. Magician's Soul has been bought out again this weekend to volley back towards 132 away from 120. There are going to be motivated sellers all weekend. Whenever you see a card high on market, people are going to come home from the weekend. They're going to be done playing. They're going to go, I want to sell mine now. And I'm really shocked at how much lower some of these guys go than the rest of the market to sell their cards. So do check out listings on eBay and TCG Player if you're ever staring at a card you're ready to buy. Maybe you can spend a little less waiting a couple days, but don't also put your tournament on the line of, yeah, I hope it gets shipped out in time. Give sellers a little bit of time to ship out your cards to, but do look around. Always check eBay and TCG Player. Don't just blindly use my link. I appreciate it when you do. Is this what I think it is? Oh yeah, Liquid out of the same thing. So I was looking at like the Steam Healer, and the Ultra Rare has only one like hollow printing, and it's like 5+. I found that funny, so I was thinking of Liquid and Conjecture. I think we're done seeing Liquid Soldier fall out towards $45. We saw some 42s before. I think that it's going to be 50 solid soon, and it's headed back up on TCG Player. So if you've been waiting on Liquid, I think it is around its bottom out point, and it's going to start trekking back up as quantities from opening the set are pretty much done. Now into our Prismatic conversation here. The Earth Charmer is down. The Time Thief is down. What is happening, John? Well, remember Wind fell all the way down to 150, and I was talking about estimated value pulled and that things have to go down over time, and they're all falling. Somebody hit me up on the channel page and was like, people keep offering too low on my Prismatics on Facebook. How do I sell them? Your only good answers are your local area, TCG Player, where on a $200 card, TCG and eBay, you're going to lose those 13% fees, and you're going to be losing $26 on 200. So that kind of feels bad, man. And when people are trying to buy to resale, well, that means they're only getting $175 on a $200 card, and they're going to start offering $125 and around there instead. So realistic good sellers would probably be offering $140 to $150, but you know, the scummier ones are, here's $125 for your Rose, here's $100 for, you know, your Earth Charmer, but it's not necessarily the worst offer in the world, it's just a bad offer. So I get it can be frustrating to sell these mid-rarity cards if you're not savvy to buying and selling, but it was very obvious that some of them were going to go down in price over time. You're kind of stuck waiting to see if history repeats itself with the Earth Charmer. If once it hits 150, people have been licking their chops waiting and it gets the buyout, or if Win is just far more popular. The top Prismatic of each set is what digs its heel into the sand, gets thought out. People want sets of Lightning Storm, and oddly enough, Apollosa. They need their Masquerena if they have the most competitive, highly hollowed out deck, but the others tend to fall out. And, you know, if we actually go over, I think, to Chaos Impact, the fallout was real bad here. Look at this. Like, yeah, they're not meta decks. Under hundreds for those 1 per 2 case cards, and Masquerena really top heavy. You only get about a case back for all 4 Prismatics out of 8 cases. If in a perfect world you got all 4. So Prismatics will fall out in certain places. The top heavy is what's going to survive in that regard. Also, Ignister Island continuing to trek down. Gotta love when I'm right. Are you gonna do that second wave of buyouts? Use my TCG player link in the description down below if you are. It's still too early. Never do a buyout at the very beginning of a set. It's not ever going to last, especially with special editions on the horizon that Konami wants to sell. Look at the other potential in the set. There's definitely things to grab while they are cheaper and that have upward potential, but you're still gambling that Konami's going to make a good deck out of Plunder Patrol. Thank you guys for watching today's Market Watch so much. I know there's so much going on that I probably could just do a second one today, but subscribe if you haven't already to keep up. I gotta have content for tomorrow. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversations, and check out that Patreon. Seriously, there's a lot of different things that you can get out of it, and I really do appreciate those of you that are on it. It's kind of starting to warp into this own little community, and I want to get more back and forth with you guys that are already on here. So check out the posts on there and be in the conversation. Thank you guys.